You're listening to the Disruptive Franchise Podcast with Stacey Can, the podcast that celebrates innovation in franchising and peeks behind the curtain of failure, success, and the future of the franchise industry. In this episode, I'm going to be talking to you all about why I think that AI scripts are killing franchise recruitment. And if that sounds like a strong statement, grab a cup of tea and bear with me here. Now, I've done a huge amount of research on different video offerings, different AI tools and things like that. And I don't actually use them in my business for this bit. Okay, it's me, I'm here. You know, if you're watching on the video, I can touch my background. It's not a virtual thing. And that's really important to me because I want to show up authentically for you. And I think that you can spot a mile away that inauthenticity. And what it does is it tells our brain that something's not right. It's that kind of creepy feeling in the middle of the night when you hear the floorboards creak and you know that everyone's in bed. Or it's that feeling of like, have I just been scammed when I've bought something? AI scripts in particular, but also other things, but we're going to focus on scripts for this episode. AI scripts kind of give me that icky taste in my mouth. Because if I meet you at an event, I'm me. I am who I am. I wave my hands around in the air a lot. You know, I'm quite animated. I have different natural fluctuations in the tone of my voice. And I don't always think about what I'm going to say. Mainly it just comes out. For this episode of the podcast, for every episode of the podcast, I have notes, sure, but I'm not sat there reading them. I haven't written myself a script. And the reason for this, and the reason it's so important for franchise recruitment, is that authenticity is king, okay? Even if you can't be consistent, you have to be authentic because people just smell something off. And right now we're in a trust recession. And what that means is that we are in a particular period of time where AI has risen very quickly and, you know, we're trying to be speedy and we're trying to do things and we're trying to keep up with all these things that, you know, are overwhelming. We're just using it badly. And for the kind of person that you're looking to attract into your franchise, they want you. You know, franchise is such a unique thing. We think they're buying the franchise from us, but they're not. They're buying a piece of us. They're buying the thing that we've poured our heart and soul into. They're buying our, you know, help and our support. So if they don't see that in your franchise recruitment because you're busy reading a script and you've lost them already. Okay, and I get it. I get why people are using scripts. I understand that, you know, you guys know, same as me, video is the most powerful thing you can be using right now. You know, it's efficient, you can clip it, you can repurpose the content, people are watching short form video, YouTube, like the second biggest search engine in the world right now. But you're scared, right? You're scared to just jump on a video like this and just record from what comes out of your head because it's a nerve-wracking thing. You know, we're not broadcasters, we're business owners. You know, we're not supposed to be doing all this social media stuff like we're movie stars. Of course we're not. But that's kind of the point. You're not supposed to. Nobody actually really wants that. So people are turning to AI scripts and video tools that kind of have like teleprompters and things like that in there to give them the confidence to do it. And I fully respect that. Okay, if that's what gets you through. You've got the other side of the coin where you've got people like actors and trained speakers who, you know, have studied how to do that properly and authentically, right? And they're brilliant at it. But your average franchisor is not that. Your average franchisor started a business because they felt really passionate about it. I bet you started your business with the intention of just having as big an impact as you can in your local community. And then it spread and other people started to do the same thing. And now you've got this business and you're being told, do this, do that, do this. And you're just trying to find your way through it. Completely respect that. But the problem with AI scripts is that you generally don't have that training of how to read it properly and still get the tones in your voice. The other big issue that I've got with AI scripts, if I'm really honest, is that rather than you speaking from the heart, and maybe you mess it up, like on the podcast, I stumble over my words all the time. Do you even notice? Who knows? who cares, right? It doesn't matter. We're not aiming for perfection. We're aiming for having an impact. Well, I certainly am. But I think the worst thing about the AI scripts with videos for franchise is that it's not your lived experience that you're talking about. It might be very close. You might be excellent at writing those prompts. But what AI is spitting out is a version of what it thinks that you have experienced. And that's the danger point right there. Okay, we don't really want AI to be spitting out what it thinks that we've experienced or what it thinks we happen. What people really want to hear is you. You know, they're not going to spend like 7, 10, 15, 20 odd £1,000 if they don't think that they can relate to you. And I'm going to give you a really good example. I tried lots and lots of video tools. Went on a little mission recently to have a play with them all so that I understood them. And, you know, part of me was thinking, well, maybe this would just be a bit more efficient. Maybe I can like record stuff better and get more out. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I won't name, but I bought into, I was one of an early adopter kind of set of a video tool recently. And it's just been released, limited number of people sign up, all the usual stuff. It was brilliant. The tool was brilliant, right? I loved it because it was very organized. I could structure my thoughts. But the second I had to record anything, it just became really stiff and really like, oh, I'm going to mess this up. I record this podcast week in, week out. I mess up all the time. It doesn't matter. But when I had this like model of perfection on the screen in front of me with the words that I was supposed to say, I just lost all sensibility and just was like, oh, I've got to read the thing and it's going too fast and then I've got to turn it off and slow it down. And now it's going too slow. And it was just horrible. It just gave my brain more to process, well above and beyond the processing of, this is my business, I'm going to talk to you about it. It was so weird, so weird. And the other thing is the script in particular, right? So that's kind of the video teleprompter thing. The other thing is that it wrote me a script, right, obviously, and I put some prompts in there. I told what I wanted to say, my feelings, my thoughts. So my thoughts, it's script, okay, fairly easy. As I was reading through this script, had all these examples and case studies that had never happened. So I didn't ask it to put case studies in. One particular was something like, I see X number of franchisors do X, Y, Z, and the result is X%. And it was crap. It was absolute nonsense. It wasn't true. So suddenly we're in a really dangerous position if we're using AI scripts and following them, that AI is kind of making stuff up. And, you know, my whole thing is integrity, right? I wouldn't give you a case study that didn't exist. I wouldn't give you an example where I couldn't go point to it. Yes, it's great to pull in, like from what I do, like different industry knowledge and different examples, but if I can't prove it happened, I'm not going to say it. And AI had no issue with this. Why? Well, because it doesn't have a conscience. It's a robot. So if you followed an AI script and you told your potential franchisees X, Y, Z and blah, 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 well, they go fact check that. And let me tell you, Gen Z in particular, they're much better at fact checking than millennials. They're going to see that it was a load of crap. Are they going to come buy your franchise? No, absolutely not. So there's a lot to be said about AI, and I love AI and I use AI in my business. I'm not anti-AI, but AI scripts are really killing franchise recruitment because it's diminishing the authenticity. It's masking over the top unnecessarily the reason that someone's going to come buy from you. And frankly, it's not making you better at franchise recruitment. It's blocking you. Because actually, the time it took me as well to, like, for this particular tool to make the prompts, fiddle around with it, you know, make the script like roll at the pace that I talk and all the rest of it, I could have just recorded a podcast episode anyway. It wasn't faster. The illusion was faster. And as a millennial, we're being told at the moment that AI makes you more efficient. AI is going to make it better. AI is going to make it easier. Well, If it doesn't, then it doesn't. It's not going to help you be better, more efficient, etc. I know there's always a learning curve. I get that. Okay, I do. But it's really interesting to see, like, I speak to a lot of clients who are, oh, I tried this thing and it didn't work, and I watch a video. Like, I've got a client, potential client at the moment, and I was on their website and there was a video and it was very polished and very corporate, and there was this woman talking. I know the franchise quite well, so I didn't recognize this woman. I knew straight away it's an AI video. And it just didn't sit right, because let's say I was a potential franchisee and I get on a call with that person. Well, where's the person from the video? I thought that's what I was buying. Oh no, you're completely different. So again, there's a real kind of trust mismatch happening. I'm not saying AI is bad, by the way. I'm not. I use AI in my business. AI does the practical things in my business. It helps me to repurpose the content, but it doesn't write it. It helps me to clip the podcast down to like bite-sized pieces that we can put out on socials. Okay. It helps me to organize my thoughts, but it doesn't produce my thoughts. And this is so important as a franchisor, because in that franchise recruitment cycle, okay, they are buying into your thoughts. AI can't have those thoughts for you. It can't share that lived experience. I can tell AI that I did X, Y, Z things. It can reproduce that, but it will also then enhance it to what it thinks sounds better, or to give me better hooks to hook you guys in. But if that's my sole marketing purpose, that what differentiates me from anybody else? And this is what I'm really seeing a lot in franchise at the moment, is that yes, there is a lot of people kind of out there just using AI to generate content, and they think it's going unnoticed because, you know, to be honest, in their audience, maybe it is. But again, put my franchisee hat on. It's one of the strengths that I have in this industry, because I've been a franchisee and I've been on franchisor side as well. But when I put my franchisee hat on and I look around that sector, they're all saying the same stuff. So how do I know which one I'm going to go and buy? Well, it comes down to who I'm going to work with. You know, what's that franchisor really like? Who am I actually giving my money to? I don't want a perfect person to be able to give my money to. That's okay if it's not perfect. If they stumble up, it actually makes me feel better, because it makes me know that they're going to understand me, right? But you're losing differentiation. Yeah. See, not AI scripted. Because you're all kind of saying different versions of what a robot thinks that you should be saying, rather than saying what's in here. So I want you to really bear that in mind as you plan out your franchise recruitment. The other thing is that you'll hear me champion an awful lot getting more young people into franchising. So we have to be really conscious of, you know, where is that younger generation sitting at the moment? You know, Gen Z at the moment, they're buying into analog. They are unplugging from digital. So while millennials are panicking and trying to shoehorn in all of this stuff, all of the AI and being better and being more efficient and yada, 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 Gen Z is walking away from it. Okay. We weren't born with this tech. Okay. We're having to retrofit it. They are finding a better balance because they're not trying to retrofit and panic. Just doing what they see as best. So they're buying brick phones. They're buying, you know, the AirPods. I love my AirPods, right? Don't get me wrong. But for the first time ever this year, as we record this, sales of hardwired headphones are skyrocketing. We don't want, you know, all of the tech. Actually, when we're younger, what we want apparently is simplicity and authenticity. Gen Z don't buy into big brands, they buy into smaller personal relationships. That authenticity, that personal brand that you have, right? You've got to be showing it off, because if you want to be attracting that younger generation, and you should, then by showing up inauthentically, reading from scripts, overproducing stuff, you're just turning off a whole load of really valuable buyers. And I say really valuable buyers because that younger generation, they're going to be with you longer. They're not looking for something to do, you know, pre-retirement and then, you know, cash out in 5 years. They're looking to build real authentic things. So do yourself a favor, unplug from the AI scripts, Don't worry if you're nervous about showing up. That's okay. Just be you. No one else in this world can be you like you. And no one else in the world is actually judging you the way that you think. Okay, we are the worst people for judging ourselves, right? Business owners, we're so hypercritical. Okay, don't be perfect, because actually it's your imperfections that are going to warm people to you. I'll leave it there. Before we finish up today, I'd love to just thank our podcast sponsors, Book When and Make Your Mark Podcast Agency, without whom this episode wouldn't have been possible. You can find more information on both amazing companies in the show notes. If you've enjoyed listening to today's episode, please also make sure that you hit the subscribe button, and I would absolutely love it if you left a review too. See you next time.